Good afternoon and welcome to the Football Forecast's afternoon stream on Transfer Deadline Day. In association with Halftime Cuppa and brought to you by Crowther Media. I'm here joined by Tom. Tom, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you're a Lincoln fan, right?
Yeah, I'm a Lincoln fan.
Has it been a busy time down there for you this summer?
Sort of, because we've made the transition from non-league football for years to League Two. We've had to ship out sort of the Deadwood and bring in a lot of quality people. But with the signings we've made have been really good and proved themselves in higher divisions. And yeah, fingers crossed we'll have a good season.
Who have you signed?
We've bought from the start of the season. We've bought Michael Bostwick from Peterborough, probably arguably the best signing we've made. Matt Green from Mansfield, he was ex-Birmingham. He's been really good. Ollie Palmer from Luton Town. Josh Vickers from Arsenal. I think he got released from their youth team, which was a good signing. Backup keeper. We've bought Neil Eardley. I think he's played in the Premier League a couple of times for Blackpool. He's a really good. That was a great signing for us. And then we got who was it? We got Josh Ginnelly on loan from Burnley, which has been another really good signing. And yeah, I think it shows a statement of intent. And hopefully today I've seen that a bid's been accepted for a striker, so hopefully we'll be all right.
Who's that striker that you just mentioned?
Well, no one's sure, but there's a player from Braintree and Danny Carley used to play, manager there, called Simeon Akinola. He was a very good pacey forward, and he went to Barnet last season because we couldn't agree with a fee with Braintree. I'm not sure why. No one knows, but Cowley's liked him for ages, and he went to Barnet, but he's been on the bench for Barnet a while, and people think that he's our target, and it'd be a really good signing because we need a bit of, with Reed up top, we'd lack a bit of pace, and I think Akinola, he's rapid when I've seen him play, so yeah, fingers crossed it's another strong signing.
Are the players that you signed sort of a step up from what you had last season? When are you roughly the same level?
Yeah, they're all, well, to be honest, all the signings we've made, I'd say, are all sort of League Two quality. I mean, most of the players we got rid of, they've all eventually gone to National League clubs. So Jack Muldoon's gone to Fylde. We've had Bradley Wood go to Alfreton. That was a different reason, but Anna's gone back to Alfreton. And then we've had the likes of who was it? We've had sort of Deadwood go to the Evo stick and play for Grantham, that sort of thing. So Cowley's really, now with the FA Cup money we had from that really good run, he sort of pushed the boat out and gone all out, and we've spent a bit of money, which is nice to see. We've bought players on 3-year deals, which is unheard of, I think, because they're always on 1-year deals. And I think we'll do okay, definitely.
There's been a few sort of signings in League Two this deadline day so far.
Yeah.
Mainly Exeter. And they've signed, I think it's a striker and an attacking midfielder from West Brom.
Yes, yeah.
Do you think that what Exeter needed, from what you know about Exeter? Do you think they needed sort of more attacking options?
Yeah, definitely. I think I saw earlier today that they're one of their best. Well, I know they've lost Ollie Watkins to Brentford.
Yeah, I've seen what he played for.
Yeah, and then he's gone to Brentford, and then today they got I think David Wheeler, another forward, went to QPR, and I think those two loan signings are good replacements, but I think they will certainly miss out on Wheeler's and Watkins' sort of potential. And don't get me wrong, the youth players that are there, they could be great signings, but I don't think that they've played at that level to my knowledge, and they're only used to sort of youth football. And I think that could potentially be a bit of a problem because I'm not sure. I just tend to find that the experience gets you a long way in the league, and that's what we've sort of had to go for, and not sort of emerging talents and youth players. So yeah, I think there'll be two good signings if they can sort of get going from the off. But I think it is hard to sort of replace Watkins and Wheeler, who have had incredible seasons for them. What do you think sort of about that Exeter?
Yeah, I think it's sort of that short-term placement to replace Watkins and Wheeler.
Yeah.
They've had to replace Watkins,
Mm.
but not really done so. I think maybe Paul Tisdale saw
Yeah.
everything that he kept with Wheeler hasn't materialised. If Wheeler now had to sort of try and act quickly to bring in.
Yeah.
Quite basic, really.
Yeah. Good stuff.
There's been another player shot we can step up from to League Two. Ollie Hawkins gone from Dagenham and Redbridge to Portsmouth. Did you see anything of Hawkins last season when he played?
Yeah, he was one player that whenever we played against Dagenham that always stood out for us. He was a very influential player on the ball. I'd say similar to our striker Matt Reed, where he sort of lets the whole play up. He's a very sort of old-fashioned striker at a young age. And we were actually rumoured to be signing him, but a league, well, just for one reason to another, we eventually didn't. We brought in other players, but no, we at Lincoln last season, we always kept an eye on him, and I think he scored against us at their place in the season, and I think he'll do very well for Portsmouth if he can get into the team.
Because Portsmouth have signed quite a few non-league players in the last season, so I signed Jamal Lowe and Nicky Glover from Richmond last year. And they're getting on there. I think the run was the one.
Yeah, I mean, like Jamal Lowe, Lincoln again were very rumoured with him, and there's another one. I forgot his name that he played for Hampton as well, and he went to is it like Kambamba or something?
Kambamba.
That's it. Yeah, they were both rumoured with Lincoln at the start of the season, but again, Portsmouth beat us to them.
Yeah, because I remember, because I support Western, we're in the same league as Hampton. I remember playing Hampton last October. Yeah. And Jamal Lowe and Kambamba tore us apart and scored. I remember Jamal Lowe getting the ball in halfway. He had yard space to end it. He went past two of our defenders and put it past our keeper. And he did that in about 10 seconds.
Jeez, that's insane. He sounds very good, and it's nice to see that Portsmouth are sort of invested in non-league talent, and it's nice to see that a lot of teams this season have touched that. I think you saw Tamworth striker, I think Danny Newton, his name is, Stevenage bought him, which was nice to see again that a sort of someone with potential's gone up from the Conference North, and he's already got 4 or 5 goals, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, because Western have a player called Del Grubb who's been linked to League 2 sides and Conference sides and League 1 sides for the past few seasons. And there's still speculation sort of going on in the last few days. He might be off SGR. I'm hoping it doesn't sort of go through today. But because I like to keep him, because he's 20 goals from us from midfield.
Yeah.
And Western, you were going to say something?
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, is he who's he sort of played for previously? Is he quite a young player, or is he quite experienced?
He's one of our youth prospects. He's come from our youth academy. He's 25 now.
Oh, okay.
He's been part of us since he was 12.
Oh, wow.
Gosh. Yeah, and we signed him yesterday. I can't say his last name. Last December from Cardiff.
Oh, okay.
And he's moved to Bristol Rovers this summer permanently.
Oh, okay.
And he made his debut. He made his debut from their first team competitively on Tuesday against Wickham or Water, I think it was, a team in the Cup.
Yeah, is that? I forgot his name. Is it like it sounds like mayonnaise or something?
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, no, he looks. I saw him on Twitter doing the rounds about where he was going to go, and he's been a very good signing for Bristol. But I've seen that Bristol have invested in their academy quite a lot this summer.
No. It's been like players who've played non-league football most of the time.
Yeah. I just think it's really refreshing to see, and I think after the season Jamie Vardy had when Leicester won the league, I think teams are sort of turning to non-league as quality sort of players, and also just that sort of talent that you can't get sort of from the league, sort of nitty-gritty. I mean, we got Woodyard, and he's probably the best midfielder we've had at the club in years. And it just sort of shows that they're very good. Yeah.
Yeah, because now that Barley's sort of gone on the rise from being released from academy, playing league football for a few seasons, and now playing at always going to the country. I sort of put him on the map, and it's nice to see that he's now set up his own academy, trying to get non-league players, and then move into the football league.
Yeah. Well, again, I think like that's sort of non-league players now that could get into the football league.
Yeah.
There's quite a few that I think that could, well, again, sort of make the step up in the Conference National, the Premier League. I think there's quite a few couple that stick out. There's Corey Rightly from Dagenham.
Yeah,
he's been doing really well. There's also Morgan Ferrier from Dagenham.
Yeah.
There's also the likes of James Norwood at Tranmere. Link could have been linked with him. That'd be a good signing. But then there's also sort of in the Conference North. There's Jordan Thulis at Harrogate. He's played for Gainsborough. He's gone on to play professional for Harrogate now.
Yeah.
He looks like a good signing for them. And it wouldn't surprise me if in a couple of years, with professional sort of experience, he went on to better clubs in the league or further on.
If there's one that I would say could go from non-league to football league, it'd be Dave Harpy from Maidenhead.
Who, sorry? Sorry, the connection's a bit...
Dave Harpy from Maidenhead.
Oh, yeah, Dave Harpy. Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I reckon he can step up. He's 27 now, a bit of a gamble to find him to not work out.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was... what was it? He's been... Well, I know he turned down Coventry, apparently, but because he's semi-professional, I think he makes more of an earning from doing... from his part-time job and then playing football sort of thing.
Yeah.
But no, he's also been linked with Lincoln.
We're taking a striker who scored 40 goals in the National League South last season and only scored 7 this season.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, there's also Danny Rowe from Fylde who's done that sort of similar thing. He was what was it? I think he banged in about 50. No, it was just above 50 or under 50 last season, and he did really well. But I think that it's just, again, it would be nice to see him go the step up and prove people wrong. Yeah. I'd love to see him at Lincoln personally, but if he's turned on Coventry, he'd probably not look to go to us, but maybe a League One club, or I don't think a Championship team would gamble. But I think a League One club's perfect for him, or a higher League Two side, and sort of push on if he wants to sort of make a professional career, like later on in his career.
Yeah. Let's go to the Premier League quickly. What have you made the sort of the rumours in the deal being made today? Like Chamberlain's probably the main deal that's been completed. What make of the Premier League? Was it we could say?
Striker in the Premier League, that's done well, sort of thing.
That's all. Like the deal's been completed. Chamberlain.
Yeah, sorry. I think
it's gone for him.
I think Chamberlain's for Liverpool anyway. That's a good deal. I know that there's sort of rumours that he's turned down a lot of money to stay at Liverpool. No, to go to Liverpool. Apparently Chelsea offered more, but he turned it down for to play in midfield, I'm guessing, instead of right wing back, which he doesn't like playing. But I think that's a good signing. But I think as well today, I reckon Sanchez could go to Man City. That's sounding more sort of to kick on the rumours, and I heard the second bid's been made by Man City, so that could be interesting if it sort of fully develops and he can make the move. But I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar went to Arsenal, because I heard that Liverpool were after him, but there's rumours again that Arsenal made a huge bid that no one's going to match. And I think it'd just be... It's quite refreshing because the past deadline days haven't sort of lived up to expectation.
Yeah.
Whereas this one sort of really changed sort of people's opinions on it, and a lot of sort of deals have had to been pushed through because of how tough the competition's got this year.
Like the last deadline day that I remember was January 2011 when Torres went to Chelsea
Yeah, yeah,
and Suarez went to Liverpool. All
yeah,
in the same day, and that was sort of the one that I remember most.
yeah. That was a really good day. I think as
Oh,
well.
you
Was
carry
that the
on.
one? Was that the one where Andy Carroll went to Liverpool for like Liverpool's record fee at the time?
35 million and Suarez beat it around
Yeah,
2 hours later.
yeah, that's it. That was
Yeah,
amazing that day. I sort of follow Liverpool as well, so that was really nice to see for a Liverpool fan that, well, not Carroll but Suarez anyway, and everyone's sort of seen how well Suarez has done.
yeah. What do you make of sort of like Jack Wilshere's future? Like, he's been linked with West Ham. He's been linked with moves away to Italy and
Yeah,
places like that. What do you think is best for his career now? He was sort of seen as England's golden boy back in 2011. Now he's
yeah.
sort of wasted away. He can't. He's not playing games.
No, no, I know what you mean. I think it's a weird one again because I know that there's rumours again that Harry Redknapp wants him at Birmingham, and
Yeah,
I think he'd be tempted because a lot of players had chose Birmingham to sort of work with Redknapp. You saw Mark Roberts from Barnsley. You saw like Harley Dean, who's just joined.
but Jota as well
That's
going
it.
there for them.
Yeah, and it all sounds very promising there. And I think if a team like Birmingham could somehow get Wilshere in the Championship and he didn't suffer injuries, I think it could be a quality signing for them.
Mm.
I say they sort of lack that midfield. I know they've got Davis and Ndoye and Gardner, but Davis is good. But I think if they could sort of get Wilshere and just get that bit of like quality in there, I think that they could have a good season.
Speaking of Birmingham, they've
Mm.
also been linked with Alex Song today. Do you
Yes.
reckon Alex Song and Jack Wilshere be a good partnership in midfield?
Yeah, because of course they know each other from Arsenal, well,
Yeah.
presumably. And I think that while Song's not been played English football for long, I think the Russian league's competitive enough for him to find his feet in the Championship. And I think it's certainly it's a bit of a weird one. It's sort of like a typical Harry Redknapp signing where you see him sort of make not just old players, but where he sort of goes for the more experienced players, and because he knows they'll sort of put a shift in. And I think it's quite good for Birmingham's sake, but I think everyone else will be a bit sceptical to see how well they do.
Yeah. Just quickly go to Newcastle.
Mm.
There's rumours that Dogger's possibly going for 15 million, and yet I think him going to Fulham for that amount of money would be a good deal for both clubs. I think Go has the ability to do it in the Premier League this time around.
Certainly, I think. Well, I don't know. At Palace, he didn't have the best of seasons because I know he was again a non-league talent. I think he was at Bishop Stortford. I think,
I don't
and
know.
I Dwight Gale,
I'm
and I
not
think.
sure where he's from.
Oh, I know. I think he played non-league football first because I think he was a painter or a decorator. But he's really. It's a bit of a weird one again because he did win the Championship last season, but there's such a big difference in the football played and the signings in both divisions. But I think it's one of those again where it could come good if because again at Fulham I think he'd prove people wrong again, and I think if Fulham were to get up there with Gale and get promoted, I think Fulham would keep him and let him prove himself in the Premier League this time.
And then Newcastle sort of been linked with Remy, Danny Ings,
Mm.
and Lucas Perez
Yeah.
as Gale's replacements. Which one do you reckon would be sort of best for them?
I think to be honest, I don't think Danny Ings, because of at Liverpool, has been injury. Well, he's had a lot of injuries, and I think he wouldn't want to go out sort of straight away and be expected to do really well when he's not played football for almost 2 years. I think Perez would potentially be a good one because I know that he's not the quickest, but he did okay for Arsenal when he sort of came on or played in the cup last season. But I think that Remy, the former face, would do really well because he's sort of proven in the Premier League at times. And I know it was a bit of a weird one when he went to Chelsea, but I certainly think that he'd be the better side and he's got a lot of pace about him to sort of close defences down, which would be good for sort of thing if Gale went to sort of replace that pace they need. So yeah, I think I think all in all, if they could get Remy in and ship Gale out for that money, I think that would be a good bit of business. But I think then Benitez would need to make a signing, either Remy permanent or sort of have to look elsewhere for a permanent striker.
Yeah, because Newcastle, they've sort of had problems all over the pitch in recent years, and they've had one position usually every season.
Yeah.
And I think this season that position is left back. I think they're trying to get Matt Targett on loan to fill it. Do you think Matt Targett playing Premier League football consistently every week in, week out will be good for him at his age and
I think
where he is with his career?
I think it'd be perfect for him. I know he sort of made a couple of appearances off the bench and made a couple of starts when left backs like Bertrand had been injured. But no, I think it's a very it's a bit of a weird one. But I think that if he sort of got a couple of games under his belt and sort of match fitness and got used to it quickly, I don't see why he couldn't do well in the Premier League and make a name for himself. And then it'd be interesting if there's a future fee involved, like due to appearances, or if he does well and Southampton want him back and he sort of makes it in the first team.
Now, Swansea have announced Renato Sanchez on a season-long loan deal from Bayern Munich. Do you think that's a coup for Swansea?
Yeah, I think that's an incredible bit of business. I know that Paul Clement, I think everyone knows, but because of how often he works with Ancelotti at Bayern for a little bit in Real Madrid, I think Ancelotti trusts the player in Clement's development of Sanchez, and I think Sanchez clearly trusts Ancelotti with it. And I think that he's such a strong player and his versatility is incredible. So it wouldn't surprise me to see him do really well, sort of thing, and push under Swansea and either stay for another season or go back to Bayern and sort of impress in the Bundesliga, where I think last season he was unfortunate because he rarely played.
I think it's the right move for him because he proves himself in a physical league, whereas Bundesliga is more like a technical league nowadays.
Yeah.
And with the midfield options ahead of him at Bayern, he was never going to really play this season. He might be lucky to make the bench every now and then.
Yeah. No, I think that's the main thing you have to look at as well, because of the likes of Thiago or Alonso, but now he's retired, and they've brought in sort of Tolisso and other promising players, and I think
they've got like James Rodriguez as well ahead of.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it showed how far down he was in the pecking order, but I think Alonso could do the world of good, and just I'd hope for him and Swansea, because they're not a bad team, that they sort of push on and sort of succeed well with Sanchez in midfield, most likely. And
Tottenham have also announced the signing of Serge Aurier from PSG today. Do you think that's a good replacement for Kyle Walker, if not a better player than Walker was?
Yeah, I think it's a good bit of business by Pochettino. I was looking at the sort of the deal, and it's weird to see that they shipped him. They shipped Walker out for that much and bought Aurier in, someone cheaper who sort of played in the Champions League in big games and shown that he can play at a good level. And I think that Aurier could be a really good signing, one of the better right backs in the league this season. I think especially now that he's sort of getting to play more regular football, because at PSG, I can't remember the right back that was sort of Meunier, I think his name is. He seemed to be starting more than him. And I think he had a lot of trouble at PSG as well, sort of what he said to managers, and it's a bit controversial there. So I think he'll do him sort of the world of good to sort of play like the best league in England and in the world, like regularly, and for Tottenham.
Yeah. And there's also sort of over in France, Kylian Mbappe is sort of he's another transfer rumor that's sort of been going around during the transfer window, and nothing's really happened.
Yeah.
Rumours been going to PSG on a loan, and then being made permanent. Going for a permanent fee. Do you think Mbappe going to PSG, just such a big club at his age, would help him?
It's a bit of a weird one again because I'm surprised that PSG haven't already been in trouble for financial fair play with
Yeah,
Neymar, and I think that you can tell that they're trying to get him on loan now, so they don't have to pay a fee, so that next season they can then sort of spend it all on him and keep him there. I think if they could get him on loan first, it's a very sort of smart move by PSG. But I do think that Monaco seem to be a selling club, and they've already got rid of. Well, it looks like Lamar could be going. It looks like Bernardo Silva went. Silva went,
yeah,
and I think that they'll struggle to find replacements so quickly. And it's like I know that they signed Jovetic looking to be his replacement, but I don't think personally Jovetic is a good enough replacement, and he's not. He's played in sort of higher leagues, but he's not really proven himself in any of them. And I just think it would be a bit of a waste for him to go to PSG now because sort of they haven't got rid of Cavani or anyone in time, and he could end up just being a squad like rotational player if he doesn't sort of impress early on like they'd expect him to. And I think that being such a high fee at a young age, probably be a record fee, he'd have a sort of a lot of pressure to live up to.
yeah. Because there's been players who have gone for large amounts of money who have struggled to live up to what their
Mm.
potential, or live up to what they were made out to be. Like Torres, when he went to Chelsea for 50 million,
Yeah,
he was made out to be one of the best strikers in the world at the time, and he struggled to hit the net 10 times a season when he was there.
yeah, exactly. And I think that miss against Man United, that famous one where he sort of misses a tap in, I think that sort of summed his spot up at Chelsea at the time. But now he's gone on to Madrid and he's done a bit better. No one's really seen, but he's done a lot better there. And I think
Yeah,
it just shows the pressure that people can be under to perform well, sort of week in week out, and it takes a lot of like mental energy and physical energy out of you.
mm. And there's also sort of rumours about Riyad Mahrez.
Mm,
Where do you think he's off
yeah.
to? Because he's left Algeria's training camp to complete a transfer to an unnamed club. Where do you think he might be going?
And again, it's a really tough one because you've seen throughout the seasons he's been linked with like Chelsea, sort of Roma. It wouldn't surprise me
Arsenal
if,
been named,
yeah,
Barcelona also.
exactly. I think if it was any, I could potentially see it being maybe Arsenal as sort of and they're using Lamar as perhaps a decoy to get Mahrez in.
Mm.
And I think, or either it could potentially be, it could be Chelsea. I don't think it will be, or it's a bit of a weird one, but I could see it being Roma or someone like AC Milan. I know that Milan have made a lot of signings, but with the funds they've sort of got and the players they've already spent on, I don't think it'd be a problem for them to spend about, well, 25 mil on another good right mid. Where do you sort of see him potentially going?
Um, I don't see it being in Barcelona anymore because Dembele's gone now, and
Yeah.
Paulinho. So they've basically spent all the Neymar money they had.
Mm.
I could see it being Roma because they need a good
Yeah.
winger like that,
Yeah.
but depends. Because he
Mm.
checked into a London hotel where you could look at it both ways. He could be flying out to someone like Italy or Spain to complete a move, or it could be signed
Mm.
for one of the Arsenal, or it could be signed for one of the London clubs like Arsenal or Chelsea. Because
Yeah.
I think I saw a rumor that Arsenal were seriously considering the second bid for Man City for Sanchez.
Yeah.
So maybe Mahrez could come in as Sanchez's
Mm.
replacement at Arsenal, which would be Mahrez isn't up to Sanchez's sort of caliber, but he's just below that, in
Yeah, I know
my
what you mean.
opinion.
He's very it's a weird one because you sort of look at the only season he really sort of excelled in was the one at Leicester when they won the league, and now a lot of players that were there that season have sort of not pushed on and done as well. And I think
Apart
not
from
only
like
took his
Kante,
yeah
he's probably the only one to
yeah and
really take
Kante
form.
yeah Kante was sort of clever to move on straight away and like and push on, but I think like Vardy's not doing as well. Mahrez hasn't really pushed on last season. And I think he sort of wants that move to sort of like kickstart his career again and sort of push
Yeah.
on. And I think a Premier League club would potentially that a good one to sort of continue playing in sort of a good league, because it wouldn't surprise me to see him sort of come back to England in a couple of years again and maybe do like a Mo Salah and come back a better player.
And let's just talk about West Ham quickly. They've had a good transfer window and they've brought in Hart, Zabaleta,
Yeah.
Fernandez. They've brought in a few good players. How do you think they're going to do this season based upon who they've brought in this summer and who they've let go?
To be honest, it's a bit of a weird one, because you've seen that already they haven't done very well. I think that the signings they've made are good signings, but I don't really rate Zabaleta now. I think he's getting on a bit and he's not up to sort of Premier League quality. I think Hart and Hernandez are good signings, but they don't have good enough players around them to sort of supply Hart with a good enough defence and Hernandez with goals. And he's sort of seen that Arnautovic, it's going to take him time, and his attitude doesn't seem to be right there after getting sent off. And I just think that it wouldn't surprise me if we saw Bilic go in a couple of games if they don't get some points. And it's a shame, because I think the players he's brought in are good enough in the Premier and for West Ham to do well, but it just seems like Bilic isn't the right manager for them.
Next summer's the World Cup, and every sort of player dreams of playing in the World Cup. Do you think that you've seen like Oxlade-Chamberlain, Gibbs, and these other players sort of move around to try and get first team football ahead of the World Cup? Do you think that's the right thing for them to do? Because even if they do go to a sort of like a lower club or a club who don't play in Europe when the club they were at does play in Europe, do you think that's the best way to get noticed for them?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think I think what Chamberlain's done is quite a unique thing for a player, an English player certainly. Apart from Sturridge when he went from Chelsea to Liverpool a while ago, you don't really see sort of English players sort of stepping in that direction to sort of gain football. And I think I like Chamberlain a lot, and I think Klopp will sort of he'll put him in midfield, and I think he could do really well for Liverpool. I just hope that he sort of pushes on, and I don't see why he can't get in the World Cup squad, because it sort of seems to be the same players sort of every year that get into it. And the World Cup's next year, innit? Next year. So it wouldn't be surprising to see him in there after, hopefully, a good season with Liverpool.
And there's like Leicester have had a 20 million bid turned down by Arsenal for Callum Chambers. Do you think Arsenal should have accepted that, because Chambers isn't really going to get into that first team squad at the moment, is he?
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, because again he did bad. Well, he did okay in the average Middlesbrough squad that ultimately wasn't good enough for the Premier League, and he was one of the standouts. And I think Arsenal I'm surprised that they haven't sort of replaced him in the squad for Rob Holding, because I know it's not. He hasn't exactly been the greatest, and I think he's been rushed in too soon. And I feel bad for Chambers, because he came in and it was meant to be the next big thing and was promised loads of sort of starts at Arsenal and to do really well. And I think he's been let down by the club, and I think he deserves to get first team football at a decent club like Leicester. And I think he'll do him sort of the world of good if he wants to push and sort of similar to Oxlade-Chamberlain get into the England squad later on, or that type of thing.
Do you think like young English players like Rob Holding should be going to their managers asking for that first team football, or do you think they should just try and get their head down?
I think it's sort of the knuckle down and sort of work hard in training, but ultimately, if I was sort of a young player, I'd be looking to get games, and if I wasn't guaranteed first team football, I'd be sort of looking to get loaned out, as you sort of seen the likes of that Jeremy Boga. He's gone to Birmingham, and that sort of similar thing, and perhaps like Success going to an unnamed Championship club from Watford, and that type of thing to go and find first team football. And I feel Holding sort of under that bracket where he needs to sort of get out and get first team football as often as he can. And I think Wenger trusts him, so I think he's fine at the minute. And I see that Chambers is out of favour, but I do think that Chambers needs to get out sort of permanently, because it just seems that Wenger's not taking a fancy to him.
Could you see any more sort of like big money transfers being made today? Obviously, Sanchez is the main one. but could you see that getting through in time?
Yeah, I think that he's in Chile at the minute, but it wouldn't surprise me if he somehow got a medical done over there and it was confirmed because
I did hear they've sent that Man City have sent some have sent a delegation to Chile to try and get this done in time.
okay. So yeah, that wouldn't surprise me then if he got it done because again, you can tell that he's not happy under Wenger and Wenger's sort of let him down and by the players he's brought in. And I think that it will do in good for him, but it also shows that Man City's attack will probably be the best in the league next season with the likes of De Bruyne, Aguero, Jesus, Sterling. Well, yeah, unless Sterling goes to Arsenal, but I doubt it. So I could see Sanchez going there and pushing on, do really well next to such a good attack. And it wouldn't be surprised me if Man City were up there or now sort of title favourites.
If Sanchez does go to Man City, I could see them sort of like rivaling that sort of like Real Madrid sort of like front three.
Yeah,
Because it's
yeah, easily.
interchangeable, isn't it? But Man City don't really
Mm.
have the depth in defence to do what Real Madrid can do.
Yeah, of course, and I think City could be one of those teams potentially, but I think they'll need a sort of a well-rounded squad, and you can tell it's trying to take shape. But I don't particularly rate Company. He's been a good past seasons, but I think with his injuries, he's not up to scratch. And I like Otamendi, but he's not exactly world class again. And I think as he's trying to do, I think he's trying to get next season. I think he'll sort of invest in centre backs and sort of get that quality like he's paid for left backs like Walker and Mendy. But yeah, I think they could have a potentially really good team, but I think it's going to take longer for his team to take shape.
Yeah. Speaking of Man City, could you see them sort of loaning anyone out? There's been talk of like that really highly rated Jadon Sancho going to Borussia Dortmund
Yeah,
on loan. Do you think for him that'd be a good move going to Dortmund, a team of such sort of like high quality,
yeah,
high
I think.
standard, when they're so young?
Yeah, again, it's a bit of a weird one, but I think that he could probably get into the Dortmund team quite soon, and they'd give him sort of first team football towards the end of the season if they're not going to win the league or he wants game time. And I think it's them choosing him out of anyone sort of shows that they see something in him to sort of warrant him a first team like football in a place. And I think the reason that Man City have just given him like a first team contract is because they know there's interest and they can sort of make a bit more money for him because he's on sort of professional terms.
Just to sort of round off, do you think players' attitudes when they try to force through moves, sort of like staying away from the club, saying they're injured when they're really not, do you think that's the right attitude to go about things to try and get that move, or do you think they should just try and go on the pitch?
I think they should sort of still play and represent the club and make their fans proud. But if they want to move, they should sort of have to wait. And as you sort of seen with Coutinho, I think he should be playing first team football at Liverpool and not claim he's got back injuries and that type of thing. I think he should have
Yeah.
faced it like as a grown up and not like claimed he was injured and just carried on playing until Barcelona come in.
He's in the Brazil squad, so if he was
Yeah,
injured, then he wouldn't injured, wouldn't he?
yeah, exactly. And I think it just shows us sort
Like,
of how weak he's sort of been.
there's people like Drinkwater, Van Dijk, and then Mbappe's been kept on the bench as well when won the first few league games. So I think their power's there, but
Yeah,
I think managers have the power at the end of the day by saying that if you don't want to be here, you're not going to play.
yeah, exactly. And they could get, and they might be thinking the player could be distracted on the pitch, like they don't want to be there if they have a bad game, or they want to try and force a move even more.
Yeah, like I was watching the Liverpool Arsenal game on the weekend, and Sanchez's attitude just showed that he didn't want to be there. He was disinterested.
Yeah,
He didn't really
exactly.
want to make anything happen.
Yeah, you saw that picture of him laughing on the bench, and I think that just sort of summed it up really of how bad
Like
it's been.
you see people go about never comfortable defensively, like Ozil sort of. He doesn't do what he can off the ball, but he still puts as much effort as he can into his
Yeah,
game. Where Sanchez didn't do anything on the weekend.
yeah. I can see it being sort of one of those things where, well, I can just sort of see it being one of those things where they push on, do well, and then now as Ozil's shown, he's sort of gone off a bit and not playing as well. And I think that again, it's either he doesn't want to play under Wenger and he's just unhappy, or he's sort of just not suited into that three at the back formation.
Okay, I think that just about rounds up this afternoon's stream.
Mm-hmm.
Brought to you by Valve Media and the Halftime Cuppa. We will be back online, I think, around 5. If not, we'll be back at 8, and then we'll go on towards midnight for all the late deals. Tom, it's been a pleasure having you on. Do you want
Thank
to
you.
plug your Twitter quickly?
It's at @TomBulliver_. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you, and we'll see you later.
See you.